Hello, welcome back to Latin 2. I hope you guys had a good weekend. We're going to go over the translation quiz from over a week ago and then get into some more content for this chapter. You guys probably heard we have our official timeline for the rest of the year. We are going to go to the last week of May, but that'll be finals week, so it kind of doesn't really count as a week. And next week is a half week, so we have this full week, then we have a half week where we'll start chapter 23, then we'll be able to finish 23 on the third week of May, as well as prep for the final, and then we'll be done, and you guys can take the final. So keep in mind, no class on Monday next week, so that'll make next week fly by. All right, we're gonna do at least some of the Catalan reading today. We might not finish it, and we're gonna start the Electiones for this chapter. And you guys will do two of those in the form for today, and you'll do the other three on Wednesday's form. Those will be the Lectiones that I draw from for the translation sentence on Friday's quiz. Yep. Remember, this chapter is mostly just fifth declension. They gave us the ablative of place where, but that's the easiest ablative of all time. So we're keeping an eye out for ablatives since we have so many at this point, but hopefully we're kind of used to them. And we're keeping an eye out for new vocabulary, but other than that, just fifth declension, which is also pretty straightforward and not too bad. Yeah, watch the genitive and dative singular. Those overlap. And that's kind of it. All right, let's check. This was the quiz from over a week ago. So sapientia et veritas certa in hominibus stultis non invenietur. You guys did really good on this for the most part. Some people still, you can tell they're not as familiar with the sentence as they should be, given that you have it and you know exactly which five I'm going to be drawing from. But for the most part, it's pretty good. So wisdom and certain truth will not be verbed, will not be found in foolish men. So the big stumbling block was just translating this future passive verb. So in invenientur, with the IE in TUR, that is future passive. That was the big deal for chapter 21, is that they want us to be able to identify the third and fourth conjugation verbs in their future passive, which is painfully close to their present passive. So if you see there inveniuntur in that little note I have floating in the middle of the screen, that's the present third person plural passive. Where if we have IE in TUR, then that is future passive. Yeah, so it's pretty tricky, but the sentence even kind of makes more sense if you understand that this is future tense. So it's the subjects will not be verbed. Will not be verbed. I'm underlining the part that's actually the predicate, so make sure you're really super comfortable with at this point with the passive verbs and how to translate them given what their tense is. And hominibus stultis is in foolish men plural. I asked the case of hominibus, but then the only option was, I think it just said option one. So that was a good question. That is an ablative. It's like an abstract ablative of place where, but that's not really super important. All right, then the bonus sentence was really good. Well, actually, I mean, a good many people got close, but I think I only noticed two getting all the way there. So I think that was Shayla Mater and Josh Kearse got pretty much 100% on this bonus. Which was cool. If you're thinking, oh, I was like, sure, I did well on that. It's probably one super common mistake a lot of people made. But yeah, so this is going to be like coronavirus will be conquered. So when Cator is the future passive of winco winkera, to conquer, like vidi vidi vici, yeah, will be verbed. So that is a future passive, just like in Winnieator as future passive. This is future passive as well. So will be verbed, will be conquered by strong doctors. A lot of people thought medicese was like medicine. If I wanted to say that I would use remedium, remedii, like medicine or remedy or cure. Whereas this medicese can be feminine or masculine from medicus, which is a doctor who's a guy, or medica, medicae, a doctor who was a girl. So this is non-gender specific since the ablative and dative plural are both of them are going to be long is. So yeah, it's doctors, not the things that doctors give people. But anyway, yeah, good job to people who got close, and especially the ones who got it right. All right, let's do. This looks like a decent chunk, but it's actually just three more sentences from this Catalan reading. That's what we're going to go over now. Like I said at the top of the video, today's like assignment is just two translations of Lectiones. So hang tight through these three translations. Go ahead and pause when I'm telling you to pause and work through these along with me. And you should still have plenty of time to do the two Lectiones within our normal class time. I mean, I never get close to like a full 50 minutes, so I think you'll be fine. We do have a lot of gloss words down there. That's mostly going to be for the second sentence. So let's zero in on this first one. Oh wait, sorry. This is where we left off. So he was that man who was feared by all as long as he was contained in the city's walls. So we're getting some slightly dicey grammatical maneuvers from Cicero here, or they're dicey in that they're slightly more complicated than what we might used to be what we're used to. But okay, so let's as I read this, you can start thinking of it. But I definitely want to talk about this before you even try. So nunc illa homo tom acer tom audax tom in scalera vigilans tom in malis rebus diligens sublatus est. So for one thing, we have another tolo tolera. You might look at those last two words, sublatus est, and think, what the heck is that? Is that glossed? I don't see it down at the bottom with the other glossed words. It's not. It's from tolo tolera. It's just sublatum. The participle looks way different. It goes from tolo to tolera to sustuli, totally different, and then sublatum. So once again, we're going to have to be selecting between raising and lifting up and taking away and destroyed. So yeah, that word can have kind of like a constructive implication or like a destructive implication. That's what makes it tricky. So there's that. We're seeing Tom again. I forget if we have that officially, but that's just kind of like so, like an adverbial so. I'm thinking I already see my subject. I don't know about you guys, but the subject's pretty straightforward, third person singular. And then it's just sublatus est, which is weird. So go ahead and pause at this point and give it a shot. All right, I'm going to move ahead. Maybe you got something close to this, so you might have to swap something out. Maybe you just kind of were taking sublatus a little differently. So now that man, that's just nunc illa homo. Now that man, or like that human, but man is pretty good. Now that man, and then I'm going to kind of skip Tom Acer, and we have a list starting with Tom. Now that man has been raised up. So I'm going to go with raised up, like a kind of constructive take on tolo tolera. I guess it could be destroyed. I don't know. I'm like rusty on this verb. It's weird to encounter this verb again after we just got it, and so I think I'm a little rusty on it. But anyway, I think this is what Cicero is implying here, given his last the verbiage. So now that man has been verbed, has been raised up as so fierce, so daring, so watchful in wickedness, so careful in wicked things. So yeah, he's saying like Catiline has been raised up by the people who are conspiring with him as someone who is so wicked and so daring and all of this stuff. It wouldn't really make sense. Yeah, okay, this is the way to do it, because if we said he has been destroyed, I mean that doesn't make what we essentially have here are a bunch of predicate nominatives. Acer, audax, vigilans, and diligens. We're describing him, and so raised up is the only thing that kind of allows for a predicate nominative to be happening at this point. Yeah. You almost could swap out this verb with like visos est, like has been seen to be blah 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 blah. Because yeah, we just have a list of adjectives, and the last two get their own little prepositional phrases. So watchful, vigilans, in wickedness. So careful or diligent, diligens, in bad things and wicked things. So, yeah. Yep, kind of a weird one. All right. This one's really weird. So the one after this will actually be a nice like exercise for all of you. But this one is almost so weird that, for one thing, we have a lot of gloss stuff, and that's me underlining every verb. There's a lot of verb action going on in this sentence, and so we initially have sunt preceding administrata, which is weird. Don't let the word order of that confuse you. Think of the sunt maybe after administrata, and then we have a passive verb with videntur. And then at the end we have another perfect passive with gesta and provisa, two words that they have to gloss for us. But their sum esse pal is an infinitive esse. So it's a perfect passive where it's going to be something like to be verbed. And that's kind of weird. So let's see. Give this one a shot. So there's a little more of a note for you there on the perfect passive. But yeah, like I said, this one's pretty tricky and weird. Give it a shot. Go ahead and pause. All right, I'm going to move on ahead. So we start off with this conjunction we haven't quite seen. I don't think we've seen it. So although, quam is just although. all these things. So haec omnia is our subject, and that can be kind of like all these things or every. No, all these things is pretty much the way to go. It's unclear if he's talking about the men like who are rallying around Catiline, or just all of the events in general. So things might be fine. All these things, O citizens. So citizens is vocative. I guess I should have made it orange. Have been verbed, have been managed. That is a sunt administrata. Administrata matches the neuter plural ending of the subject haec omnia. So have been managed by me, me. By me. So one of the important takeaways here is, yeah, like I hinted at, sunt is normally would see sunt after administrata, right? We usually see the sum esse from a perfect passive right to the right of a participle. In this case, being administrata from administro, administrare, which means to manage or to administer to. I'm going with manage. So that's one thing worth noting. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing, honestly. So all these things, O citizens, have been managed by me, comma, Wiedentor. They seem, right? Wiedentor is just they seem, or they are seen, I suppose. However, Tommen. And then we jump ahead to our weird perfect passive. So Wiedentor, to seem, you can seem to be something, as in seem to infinitive something. If you catch my drift here. So they seem, however, to be, and then we're glossed here. So make sure you're looking at the bottom of the screen at the gloss words. To have been administered and provided for is how we're going to take gesta et provisa esse. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys as we are taking a perfect passive infinitive, essentially, right? They seem to be verbed by imperio, the command, and also concilio, and the plans of the immortal gods. So he's saying, like, even though I'm actually the one who did all this stuff, it seems like the immortal gods took care of it for us. Like, the immortal gods were the ones to help us catch Catiline red-handed and intercept his correspondence with his co-conspirators. But actually, it was me. It was me the whole time. By me, the ablative of agent up there at the top. Yep. So this one was difficult. If you're able to get anywhere with this, give yourself a pat on the back because this one's a little tricky. Definitely trickier than that first like 20-word sentence that we started off with, which wasn't actually grammatically hard at all. Okay, last one for today, and then I'll let you guys go and work on your lectiones. So now multis temporibus de immortales spem fidemque huius rei publicae alloerant. This one you should be able to do. The only issue I could see you having here is vocabulary. So give it a shot. I'm going to go to the color coded now, and if you don't pause it there, or right now, then you should pause it there. And okay, go ahead and pause. Work through it. Don't let me just keep talking and let the video keep playing. Especially, I know Chandler now watches these videos on 1.5 speed, so might be kind of hard to catch the video in time if it's going that fast. Just saying. All right, I'm going to go ahead. So, for in many times, multis temporibus. That's an ablative of time when, right? I mean, it's literally the word time, many times, so it must be ablative time when. So, for in many times, the immortal gods, de immortality. Oh, I should have mentioned that maybe. De is slightly irregular plural of deus, but I feel like we've seen it a lot recently. So that's just a nominative plural of deus. So the immortal gods, the subject, have nourished. Alluerant is third person plural perfect. Have nourished. Nourished is fine. Hope, spem, fidemque, and faith of this republic. So yes, spem and fidem are both our new fifth declension accusative, but they don't even feel difficult or weird because that looks like the third declension accusative singular that we've had forever. And then huius rei publicae, maybe that gave you a second of pause, but all of those can be genitive. We always want to think, when we see res next to publica, we always want to think of it as just really going together. In terms of being the same case, doing the same thing. So yeah, those are all genitive, so it's of this republic. In English, we would maybe say that the immortal gods have nourished hope and faith, like in this republic, which is kind of still the sense here, but technically they're genitive, so we can just say of. It's fine. Hope of this republic. Yep, that's fine. All right, so hopefully that one actually worked out for you, whereas, again, this one is a little weird. So these are the two I want you to do for today. And then on Wednesday, I will give you 3, 4, and 5 from the Lectiones. You will go through them before you watch the video. And then in the video, I will give the corrections for all 5 of the Lectiones, including these two. And on Friday, we'll do the quiz and like maybe start looking at 23 that day. I'll give it some thought. At the very least, we'll finish the Catalan. There's like 4 more sentences in the Catalan. All right, good luck with these, and I will speak to you all on Wednesday.